Good morning. Welcome to this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Sunday, August 24th, Major League Baseball slate. Better late than never, we put out the show, right? So a full slate of games on this Sunday. First of all, this show and all of our shows on YouTube here presented to you by Outlier, the #1 world sports betting app. If you like getting great ideas for great bets, shopping the best odds for those bets, and storing bets from multiple books in one spot, you have found your home here with Outlier. Fantastic app. A lot of you did sign up for the 7-day free trial yesterday. Thank you guys for doing that. Shows a lot of support for the show. And for Outlier, fantastic tool. If you don't want to join the Discord and want to do your own research, highly recommend. It's a very cheap way to do it here with Outlier. So hop on board, Outlier, the app. You'll find the 7-day free trial link in our YouTube section of our YouTube channel page, and also in the comment section of every YouTube episode that we do. And if you're new to our show, welcome. Secondly, we do fade or follow 4 teams in Major League Baseball due to the volume of games and how quickly they are. 162 games in 190 days adds up pretty damn quick. So Cubs, Dodgers, Royals, and Orioles, that's where we put our own personal money, but we will give you plays throughout the entire lineup that we do like. So let's get started, shall we? First game off, we got a couple of the early games, 12:05 Eastern time, Rockies, Pirates. Paul Skeens on the mound, Brown. I'm going to be honest with you here. If you can take the Pirates at a minus $3.50 favorite, you are maybe the gutsiest person on earth. Let's put it to you that way. Most $3 favorites this season have lost. I will say that. So keep that in mind if you are playing them. I understand for all of the parlay bettors out there, they don't really look at that, but you're probably going to have to put another team with it, and you still might not be at even money. So this is what we would suggest in this particular game here. Under 3.5 the first five innings. Under 7.5 for the game. Rockies under 2.5 team total is what that should be at there as well. You're hoping for a 0-0 game through 5, and then the bullpens give up a few runs late as both bullpens can't get beat up. I will say this, the Rockies have scored 1 whopping run in 2 games so far this series. So will they match that against Skeens? Probably not. But, even Paul Skeens can give up a run or two, right? The Rockies' offense has been non-existent so far in this series. I guess the Cubs need to play the Rockies as much as possible here if they plan on making any ground up here in the late season. But we'll leave the Cubs for later on in the show. So under 3.5 front 5, under 7.5 for the game. Next game up. 12:10 Eastern time frame, Rays and the Cardinals. So Ryan Peepote and Libator. Let's make this really simple here. Libator is god-awful. Rays are only a $1.25 favorite. Get your hammer out and get it greased up, and let's get prepared to smack the hell out of this one. Rays, money line, front 5. Rays, money line for the game. Rays over team total. I think all play here in this one of the early morning matchups. We definitely normally don't like overs in those early games, but there is one right before it, so maybe we get fortunate in this particular spot. And Libator is not good, and the Cardinals are That's about what you can say for the entire season on that one there. Next game up. Let's see. At 1:35 Eastern time frame, So I will give the Mets credit. Won a game they were supposed to on Saturday, and now going in that same direction here on Sunday. We like the Mets again, and they're not heavily juiced here on the road, trying to sweep this series from the Braves. You got Mets money line front 5, Mets money line for the game. I believe both play pretty well here. If you want to get a little gutsier, Mets over their team total as well. I think all of those should play again in this particular one here. 1:35 Eastern time, Jake Irvin, Nationals, and Ranger Suarez and the Phillies. We expect Ranger to pitch well, don't you? The only issue in this game here is the Phillies are a $2.75 favorite. Totals at 9.5. We've been playing, telling you a lot of totals in this series just because the juice is so ridiculously stupid. And so far, so good when it comes to that. Phillies do get some bad news. Zach Wheeler going to be out 6 to 8 months now, so he's done for the season. Hopefully they can Nola starts pitching better, so that way they can make a little bit of run. But that definitely hurts them in the postseason, as Wheeler's been so dominant for so long. Zach Wheeler, as a baseball fan, we hope you get better. Well, anyway, getting back to this here, Phillies over team total. In this one, Nationals under team total. I think you can play both sides of that and be a lot cheaper than that $2.75 juice. That is just way too much for a Sunday. If you want to get creative here, you can take the Nationals in this one. Not on the money line. Plus 1.5, plus 2.5 also should play. So the games have been close. And they're division games. So you can get the Nationals at plus 2.5 at a decent price here. I think probably well worth the play. You can even look at Nationals plus 1.5 in the front five if you want to. Maybe the Phillies can't score, and it works out to your benefit on that particular one there. Would not play probably the total today. Stay away from that one. But like I said, Phillies over team total, Nationals under team total, Nationals plus 1.5 front five, and Nationals plus 2.5 for the game in that one. Next game up, we are heavy in this one, 1:35 Eastern time frame. Trevor Rogers back on the mound, Spaghetti Arrighetti for the Astros. So we knocked the overs in both games so far this series. That's where we were heavily invested, and both of those came in 10-7 and 9-8. So we did get to 17 runs. I didn't think we were going to get there on Saturday, but they came out 5 runs in the first. Always makes you feel a lot better when you're sitting on an over ticket 8.5. Don't think we're going to see quite as many runs today. Biggest reason why is Trevor Rogers. I expect Spaghetti Arrighetti to give up his share of runs and expect the Orioles to play well. Mr. Jackson, Jay Jackson, has been in fuego right now for the Orioles as well. Gunner's been hitting the ball well at home. We love the Orioles in this spot. We expect Trevor Rogers to go out and do his 6-7 innings of one-run ball again and keep that Astros offense at bay. Orioles money line minus 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 on the run line. Orioles over 4.5 team total. Orioles minus 0.5 run, first 3, 5, and 7 innings. Mr. Jay Jackson one more time. And Gunnar Henderson, 2 hitters were on in this game. Same 5 bets apiece. Home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, and 3+ total bases. Next game up, Blue Jays and the Marlins. So we have not had – this series has been a little bit we thought the Marlins were going to play a little bit better in this series than they have. I'll give the Blue Jays credit. Bieber pitched really well, and they scored enough runs to support Barrios on Saturday. I'll give the Blue Jays credit. This is a series here where it was pretty easy for them to lose 2 out of 3. But they have played really well. And that's what good teams are supposed to do on the road. They're supposed to beat up the teams below them. The Marlins have had a really good season, especially for what they have. Now, going forward, they do have some very nice pieces. Perez and Cabrera get straightened out. Alcantara, they kept on the roster. Xavier Edwards, Kyle Stowers. They have some nice pieces moving forward. So competitive down the road, I think so for the Marlins. It's just going to take time as they do the tear it, every time they win something, they tear it down. But expect them to be in the winner's circle before too long. The problem in that division is you have 3 teams that spend a boatload of money. It's called the New York Mets, Philadelphia Phillies, and the Atlanta Braves. So it's not the easiest thing in the world. You're going to have pitching and hitting. They're eventually going to need some bigger bats. Maybe those are coming up, but they're going to need some help in that particular area. But when we get to this particular game here, Perez versus Gausman, I'm thinking under 7.5, under 3.5, the first 5. I just think we see a low-scoring game here. There was a pretty, low-scoring game with Bieber on the mound, a little bit more with Barrios. Gausman should be able to pitch okay. Expect Perez to pitch okay. Vlad Guerrero's still not coming out in the lineup, so hamstring's still an issue for Vlad. Maybe they catch the Blue Jays on a little bit of napping on a getaway day here. Under 3.5 first 5, under 7.5 for the game. Next game up, Royals, Tigers, 1:40 Eastern time frame. Tigers 6 in a row now. And the Royals laid an egg yesterday. Yesterday, I thought, was the opportunity for the Royals to get the job done. Unfortunately, that did not happen. They couldn't get the Paddock, and when you can't get the Paddock, that's not good. Everybody and their grandmother gets the Chris Paddock all the time. I'm not sure why the Royals couldn't get there yesterday. It's not like he had outstanding stuff, but I guess it is what it is. This is why the Royals are a 500 team-ish, and the Tigers are one of the better teams out there. Here's the deal with the Tigers. They're going to the playoffs regardless, right? So where they made the mistake at the trade deadline is they didn't go all in. They really had an opportunity, I think, to represent the American League in the World Series. Win it? I don't know, as the National League has so many teams. But they had an excellent opportunity, I think, to get to the World Series. And when you're in Detroit, you got to take advantage of those. Should have went after some bullpen pieces. Could have traded away some assets. They did replace some starting arms because they were losing starting arms like crazy. They didn't add a right-handed power bat or a right-handed average bat. That kind of, I thought, was also kind of needed. They didn't go that route either. But they're going to be in the playoffs. They're cruising. They're playing well. We actually like the Tigers in this particular spot here with Flaherty on the mound going against Seth Lugo. Seth Lugo has struggled ever since he did sign that big extension. Let's give you all the bets in this one. Tigers money line -1.5, 2.5, 3.5 on the run line. Tigers over 4.5 team total. Tigers -0.5 a run first 3, 5, and 7 innings. Only one hitter. McKinstry, home run double over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, and 3+ total bases. Next game up, Twins and the White Sox. White Sox at home. I'm telling you, they can be sticky. They were again yesterday. Gomez going for the White Sox and Taj Bradley for the Twins. So Bradley obviously coming over. The Rays made some interesting moves at the deadline. Kind of, I'd say they're, not going to be there, but they did make some interesting moves. They think they made moves for the future. There were some opportunities, and they got rid of some pieces that they really didn't like. Taj Bradley didn't really fit into their plans, so trading him to the Twins, no big shake. How good would the Rays be if McClanahan was healthy? If Wander Franco didn't do all his stupid shit as he was going to be the face of the franchise with Junior Caminero? And some of these other guys are not they got a nice ball club for the limited amount of payroll that they have. Unfortunately, some injuries and off the field stuff have really cost them down the road here. But that we went off on a Rays tangent when we're talking Twins and White Sox. White Sox in this game, we like them again, +0.5 a run front 5, +1.5 for the game. You could even sprinkle a little bit on the money line. There's not a ton of value for the White Sox there today as it's under +120. But I think +0.5, +1.5 definitely plays well for your bingo card here today. Next game up at 2:35 Eastern time frame. Rangers hosting the Guardians one again. Big game for the Rangers on Saturday. Gavin Williams on the mound for the Guards. Merrill Kelly. So we had Saturday. Friday we got a little fortunate as the Rangers scored a couple in the bottom of the ninth in order to win that one, but Rangers won the first 2 games of this series. Do like the Rangers here with Merrill Kelly again. I think the Rangers can score some runs being at home. Guardians have definitely been on the struggle bus again. Rangers are pretty decent value here, only about $1.30 favorite. I'm surprised it wasn't $1.40, $1.50. I think you can take advantage of this and not have to play a run line. Rangers money line first 5 innings. Rangers money line for the game. Merrill Kelly hasn't been dominant since coming over the Rangers, but he has 8 innings. The Rangers, I don't think they're the way it looks currently, probably not going to make the playoffs. But if they could get on a heater a little bit, they could apply some pressure and maybe make some teams do some weird things. But do like the Rangers in this particular spot to take this one home. Next game up. We've got Cubs and Angels as we get to the later afternoon games, 4:07 Eastern time. Kyle Hendricks, the former Cub, against the guy I can never pronounce his name right. We'll just call him Jay Talion in this one here. Cubs, let's give them credit or not. They haven't scored a boatload of runs in quite some time. They scored a boatload of them on Saturday. Kyle Tucker's hit home run in 2 straight games. Maybe the time off actually paid well. The Cubs should be able to hit their former compadre and Kyle Hendricks, but the offense has been a little bit off. But I think they get it. They continue. They put another big game back-to-back here. Let's give you all the bets in this particular one. Cubs, money line, minus 1.5, 2.5, 3.5 on the run line. Cubs. Kyle Tucker. Home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, and 3+ total bases. Next game up, Dodgers and Padres. Pavetta Yamamoto, pitching matchup of the day, 4:10 Eastern time frame. Game's almost a wash. Totals that's down to 7.5, but heavily juiced to the over. It's been an under series so far, like we've thought. First 2 games have been fabulous for us here. But we are going to go under for a third time. But we're going to have to move this line a little bit. We're going to get off to 7.5. You can get decent juice at going under 8.5 in this particular matchup. And that's the way that we're headed here. Dodgers, Padres under 2.5 the first 3, 4.5 the first 5, 6.5 the first 7 innings, 8.5 for the game. Dodgers and Padres both under 3.5 team total. Both are plus money over on FanDuel if you want to take advantage of those. Then we get into some player props as well. So let's get rolling with those. Cronenworth under 0.5 a total base. Yamamoto 5+ strikeouts. Ohtani under 0.5 a run. Yes, I said Ohtani under 0.5 run plus money. Gavin Sheets under 0.5 a single. Andy Pages under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Will Smith under 0.5 a single. Yamamoto under 2.5 earned runs. Arias, bigger plus money on under 0.5 a single. Conforto under 0.5 hit, run, RBI. Betts under 0.5 a run. Yamamoto for 2+ walks. Teoscar under 0.5 a single. Pages under 0.5 a single. Ohtani for 1+ walk. Bogarts for under 0.5 a single. Basically saying here, we're not going to see probably a ton of hits. There might be a bigger hit in this game. I just don't think we're going to see a ton of hits here. In this one, I expect Pivetta to pitch well. Yamamoto to pitch better than he has been. Expect both of those things to come in here in this game as we go under 8.5. Next game up, A's and the Mariners one more time. Gilbert and Lopez total at 7.5. Once again, the Mariners are $1.70 favorite. They should be. Mariners win this one again. Mariners money. The money line might be a stage too high here. So run line minus 1.5, minus 0.5 a run front 5. Under again. Under team total, I think, as well for the A's is the Mariners keep those bats at bay in this one for Sunday. And then we get to Reds and the Diamondbacks at 4:10 Eastern time. The Reds have absolutely laid a turd this series. They get smashed on Saturday. Andrew Abbott got punked. And if you said you took the Diamondbacks against Andrew Abbott, okay. Andrew Abbott doesn't get punked like that, so have a hard time believing that you do this a lot unless you just like taking every dog in every game. This one here, the Diamondbacks are favored with Zach Gallen at home. Do we really think the D-backs are going to sweep the Reds? I think the Reds salvage this game. Great chance as a dog here. Reds money line front 5. Reds money line for the game as the dog. Reds over their team total. It could be a higher scoring game overall, but we think the Reds do end up on top and take advantage of it. Next game up, and the final game of the night, Red Sox, Yankees. All right, so I'll be really honest with you. The Red Sox win 1-0 on Friday. That was a shock. Red Sox yesterday just absolutely destroyed the Yankees pitching. It was a possibility. The Yankees couldn't hit Grosjean. That was just a pitiful-ass performance by the Yanks. I think, what is it, 8 in a row the Red Sox have won from the Yankees this season? Yankees were so hot offensively, and then all of a sudden, nothing. I mean, it's just – if you're a Yankees fan, I understand the frustrations. I will say this. Everybody's firing, but it's not Aaron Boone's fault. Who constructed the team? Brian Cashman. Who's been the issue forever? Brian Cashman. He hasn't been good for so long as a GM. How is he still holding on? I understand you're probably going to get rid of them both, but I'm going to tell you this. If they get rid of Boone and not Cashman, we know Cashman has got pictures of Steinbrenner doing something that he shouldn't have been doing. And we don't think Hank's that way. So George Steinbrenner, it could have been a possibility. Hank, don't believe so, but this game coming up on Sunday Night Baseball at 7:10 Eastern time. Totals at 8.5. Let's just say under because the Yanks can't score. Under 4.5 front five, under 8.5 for the game. To be really honest, don't want to touch this game with a 10-foot pole. I personally wouldn't touch it at all. All right, that's a rundown for all of the baseball games on Sunday, August 24th. Like I said, sorry we're a little bit late with this, but rather get it out than not get it out. So this episode and all of our episodes on YouTube brought to you by Outlier, the world's #1 sports betting app. Not only do they give you great bet ideas, they're going to odd shop and get you the best odds for those at all the books that you deal with. And also you can store bets for multiple books in one spot by syncing it all up. 7-day free trial available on our YouTube channel page. You can get the link there or at the link in the comments section of every particular episode as well. Also, private Discord channel available for all of you out there. A lot of people have been joining up for this. $50 per month. You can also find the link in the YouTube channel page and also at the end of every episode on YouTube. Not only are you going to get MLB, you got those first. College football obviously was out yesterday. We got a bunch of college football for week 1 coming up. And also NFL's right around the corner. Basketball is not too far out either. WNBA, we don't play every day in the dub, but we do quite a bit. That one's just for the Discord. We don't put that one out for public consumption. Also, Formula One's back next week. We're extremely excited about that as we've had a monster season in Formula One as they're back off their break one more time to finish up the rest of the year. So you're going to get some bonus material on there as well, plus a couple 100+ people that like the same things that you do. That's called sports wagering, right? So they're bouncing back ideas all the time. There's also another capper or two on there. Fantasy football will be heavily in there as well, I'm sure, as we have a fantasy football show that'll be out weekly. So a lot of stuff going on in the Discord. You'll find a checkout. It says join our Discord. It's to a WAP checkout page. Once you do sign up there, we will send you over the invite. Now, the invite's not instantaneous. We do verify. We will send it to you in your WAP account and your email. So when you do sign up, just give us a few and we will get that over to you and get you in the Discord as soon as humanly possible. We do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.